All right, here we go, guys. Welcome back to the channel. We're going to be taking a look at the markets. We're going to take a look at some Bitcoin targets, see where we could be headed. Also, we're going to be taking a look at what happened in 2008. Where was the best place to have your money? We're going to talk about that. Definitely stick around for the whole video. Don't forget, we got a free Discord group. There is a link below in the description, along with some other affiliate links down there that offer discounts and some free stuff. So check them out if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Alright guys, as always, this is not financial advice, trading advice, nor is it investment advice. Stick around to the end of the video. We'll be giving away our free Ledger Nano S hard wallet giveaway. All you have to do to enter next week's is make sure you subscribe to the channel, tick that notification bell to get you notified when I post videos, smash that thumbs up, and leave your comments below. That'll get you entered to win. I'll pick a random comment from a random video throughout the week. Alright, let's take a look at the 4 hours. And then we'll go into the smaller time frame. I'll look at the 15-minute, and then we're going to look at, like I said, we're going to definitely be taking a look at where everything was at right before the 2008 crash, and what went up, what went down, what was a safe haven. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to also look at a chart showing you the highs and lows on Bitcoin and the highs and lows on the dollar and see how they compare. All right, but looking at this as a rising wedge, rising broadening wedge. Obviously, if we break this top trend line again, that's going to be the super bullish case scenario. And we've talked about this plenty on this channel. That could get us up to yes, I'm going to say it, a $90,000 Bitcoin. It is possible. It's possible we could go even higher than that if the hype continues. But let's take a realistic look first, because obviously nobody knows where it's going, guys. But we do have some things to look at to help us out. So, as you guys remember, we were looking at this as a possible inverse head and shoulders. And we've looked at this. I think we started looking at it last week sometime back in here. But it does look like it could possibly play out. We've talked about passing this 53,230 range. And that would show us a good possibility of getting up there. But let me get this off there. Let's see what's going on. So now, if this holds as support and our 8 EMA is lining up with this also, let's zoom in so you can see this, and then we'll take a look at some other stuff. But as you can see, the 8 EMA is going to line up with this neckline. This neckline is still going to be around that 53,400 range. If we drop back below this and start getting resisted by the neckline, that would invalidate this inverse head and shoulders, and we're most likely coming back down to test this bottom trend line here on the wedge. I still believe we're going to see that before new all-time highs. But if we do keep support here, the measured move of that inverse head and shoulders is 62,600 and 62,700, right in that range. Obviously, these aren't exact targets, but that could be where we are headed. But let's take a look at this 55,157 is very important also. We'll put the Fibonacci retracement from this swing high to this swing low down here. And that's why we had that target there around 55,157 to expect a possible rejection. And remember, if you guys been watching the channel, I'd said if we do get up here, we may get a rejection, come back down. And if we can maintain support on this neckline, then we go higher from there. Otherwise, if we break through this, then we could be looking at these lower targets. And one more thing I want to point out, like I said, that's the 0.786 right there at the 55.1 area. And if we come back to that last correction over here, and we put the Fibonacci retracement from the swing high to the swing low, right here to right here, as you can see, we went a little above that 0.786. More or less a fake out up here before coming back down. So be aware that could happen. You know, we could get to that 56,000 somewhere in there and then get a rejection. If we do get above this 55,150 area, watch it. If we can maintain support above there, then, you know, that would be further confirmation we could be going up to that 62.6 range. Otherwise, like I said, if this breaks, we could be looking at lower lows. And let's look at why I have these lower targets here. If we put in Fibonacci extension from the swing high to swing low here, if it's topped out where it's at, obviously if we go up to 55.7, it could change some. So this is going to give us a general area. If this came back down to a 1-to-1 extension, that would be an ABC. That would get us down to around 39.6. But keep in mind, if we go higher, that raises these also. And then if we break the high over here, you know, like I said, we could be going to the 62.6. But as of right now, until we get some confirmation here, breaking above this 55.1 or 53.4, that'll give us more. It could bounce around this area for a couple days. We'll see what happens. But if we went to the 1-to-1, would be 39.6. We came back down to retest, got a bounce at the $42,500 to $43,000 range. That could be ABC and then continue up to a new all-time high. The one thing that does concern me, if we break this bottom trend line here and then come back up, test it, and get rejected, we could be seeing some major lows within the next year or so. And it doesn't mean it happens all at once, guys. Bitcoin takes time. This is a 4-hour chart, and you can see if we did come down these lower levels, how long. But you see the bullish case of breaking up out of this to the top. Now, if we were to break below, we could be looking as low as 14.6 area. I even have some lower targets, but we'll talk about that towards the end. Let's look at the 15-minute and look at the more immediate targets. So if you look at the white trend lines here, look at this as a rising channel. We've obviously hit the top, bottom, bottom, top. Or you could look at it as a rising wedge with this yellow line being the top. Let's take some measured moves here. If we are able to break up, well, if this counts here and we remain support on this, I hope this isn't too confusing for you guys, but if we remain support on top of this trend line here, we could have the target of 56.8. And remember, I'd said we could pass that 0.786 fib around the 55.1 to get rejected, and that would resemble last correction we had in Bitcoin. So keep aware of that. If we break above this and continue on, then we could be looking at, you know, a breakout of this rising channel, and then we have a target of around the 59.250. So keep an eye on these two targets for if we do break up out of here, and I'd say we'd have to get past around the 55.3. If we do that, then we could be looking at that 56.8 to 59.22. Now, if we break back below this trend line, which is 53.4 to 53.6 area, and we come back down to retest the bottom of this, depending on where it would hit this line, if we do come down here, the measured move would get us around, and again, this changes depending on if and when it breaks this bottom trend line. But that'd be around the 48.2, 48.3 area if it broke here. If it broke up higher, that would raise this. If it broke down quicker, it would lower it. So that's what I'm looking at here, guys. These are the areas to watch. And I'll put another target there for a breakup out of this. So that's what I'm looking at here. If you guys are interested in trading, check out Primex BT, by far my favorite exchange. They do not trade against you like the other exchanges, so you don't see all the crazy wicks. But I'll leave a tutorial up top on how to use their margin, and you can use my promo code Savy25 to get you 25% off your fees. Savy50 will get you 50% on top of whatever you deposit, up to 1 Bitcoin, to use towards your margin. Also, yeah, you can trade gold, Forex, silver, oil, S&P, Dow Jones, all that stuff, all on Primex BT from one exchange. And you can have multiple trades in, longs and short all at the same time. So check it out if you haven't already. So looking at the Dow Jones, we made new all-time highs yesterday. Looks like it may try to break it, make new all-time highs today again. I don't trust this, guys. I don't, obviously this is gonna end ugly, in my opinion. Let's take a look. Like I said, we're gonna take a look back at 2008 and see what happened. There was our crash in 2008. 54% in the Dow. Yeah, 55% right in that area. Drop in that 2008. Now let's look at the dollar index, guys. You guys know I've been bullish on the dollar. And as you can see in this fractal, last time over here, we got rejected on the 55 EMA. And that's where we're at now. I expected this. I told you guys about this. Once we get above and open and close a candle above this 92.27, and at least a daily candle above that, My next target for the dollar is going to be up around that 94. But I do think we are going to get up here. The EMAs are rolling over, turning bullish, just like they did over here. This fractal's playing out amazingly. You can even see it in the MACD, same exact patterns. And this is what I believe up here is what we got to look for, a bullish dollar for the next year or so. And as you can see, same fractal was in the 3-day RSI down here, popped out of it, came back down, tested, got support. Still bullish on the dollar, guys, although it's under pressure, and that's probably making the bears real happy. I don't think it's going to last. We have 6 hours left for this 3-day to close. So let's see how the next 3-day does. If we can pop up above here, like I said, and once we're above this, open and close a candle above this 92.35 on at least a daily, it's pretty much confirmation for me it's going to continue up. I do think the bottom dollar, or the dollar bottomed here. Now let's take a look at what happened to the dollar in 2008. Well, there it is. The dollar rose. 27% increase in the dollar, the DXY index, back in the 2008 collapse. Now let's take a look at gold. Gold we had this target from November that we hit, obviously broke through, and we've had this one since then too. And I'd said if we broke through here at the 1736, 1647 was the next target. It is still my target. If we break below that, it could get extremely ugly for gold. Really, really ugly. We'll talk about that if it happens. Let's take a look at 2008. What did gold do? There it is. There is gold in 2008 during the crash, and it dropped 34%. So that wouldn't have been a good place to be in. The dollar so far was the only good place to be in a market crash. So if we do get a crash, that's where I would want to be. Let's take a look. And what that is, if you're in the dollar during the crash, if the dollar is going up, assets are going down. Once the assets get down, low enough, your dollar's worth more. You can buy more of the cheap assets and ride the next market up. I'm going to try to keep up on that and, I'm really going to keep looking at that, because that's, the narrative is when people say get into gold and silver and Bitcoin, and then the markets crash, they all crash with the markets. And the only thing that goes up is the dollar. And if you can catch that dollar when it's worth the most and get in them assets when they're the cheapest, that's how the rich get rich. They don't get rich. If you want to be rich, do as the rich do, not as they say. What they are telling you to do is 99% of the time not what they're doing. They're telling you to do the opposite so it benefits them. My opinion, doesn't have to be yours. But anyways, here's silver. We've broken out of this channel. Looks like we're trying to get back in it now. But if we zoom in here and look at the EMAs, they're still looking pretty bearish unless we get a major pump here. I still have this target down around 20 bucks. And let's take a look at what happened to silver during 2008. Oh, would you look at that? Silver, 60% drop in silver. So if we do get the market crash, which I think we're going to get here pretty soon, and it may last, a whole year, who knows, may last 3 months. But I do think the markets are going to have a major correction or crash here soon. I know a lot of people just keep thinking it's going up. There's more people investing today, more people at home not getting out doing stuff. So they're throwing money in the markets. They think they're geniuses because everything's kept going up. That's how money grabs take place. Nobody's going to pull out. They're going to think it's just going to continue up. There's so many new people in it. But when it crashes, all that money they put in there is going into the smart money's pockets. But anyways, 3-day Bitcoin chart. We've watched this with the bearish divergence here. We had this bearish engulfing candle. I would have to see a daily close above the 55.8. Yeah, above the 55.8 to 55.9 range for me to think that we're going to get up to that 62.5 target. I'd be pretty cautious here. Although one thing in the weekly does look bullish. We will take a look at that. In the weekly, we had the same thing, bearish divergence up here, but we had hidden bullish divergence here, which is lower lows in the price, or lower lows in the RSI, higher lows in the price action. So we have to watch that, see how it plays out. And this is on the bottom here, we have the dollar index, DXY, and then we have Bitcoin up top. And as you can see, all the bottoms of the dollar signify, or the white arrows signify the bottoms of the dollar. And they also signify the tops up here in Bitcoin. The yellow signifies the bottoms in Bitcoin. And you can see the yellow signifies tops in the dollar. So there is correlation there, regardless of what people want to think and say. I don't think the dollar is dying yet, guys. It could be in the future, maybe another year or so. But I don't think it's going anywhere but up for another year or so. This is the fib channels here. This is the log chart. As you can see, we got rejected at 0.236. And if we zoom in there and look at where that 236 lies, it is right there at around that. And this is the weekly chart. Let me go into the 3-day chart. There we go. 2-day chart, actually. I think that's where, yeah. All right, so if we get back up to this 62,000, 62.5 area, if we break above this fib, get support here, then that $100,000, $200,000 Bitcoin that everybody has been screaming is a possibility. But unless we get up above this and get support on this fib, I mean, we could go as high as 200,000, 230,000, depending on how quick it got up here. We look at December of 21. Where would that be? Way over here at 330,000. Now, I know everybody thinks the 4-year cycle has to continue, which it may. I'm not saying it's not. But usually when everybody is thinking, when something's happened over and over again, it usually will come to a point where it'll do something and throw it all off. It's not just going to continue doing the exact same thing over and over again. That's what has me cautious up here, along with the other stuff I showed you. Like I said, we could be looking at a fractal, something like this. Every time Bitcoin tops out after a parabolic cycle, we crash pretty hard over the next year or more. And 2019, we went down 84.5%. 2017, I'm sorry. 2019, we went 72% down. And if this is the top, again, it doesn't have to be the top, but if it is the top, we could be looking at $8,800 Bitcoin. Again, no guarantees whether the market goes up or down. If anybody's telling you they know for sure, that's an absolute lie, because nobody can know exactly where the markets are going. But I do expect when we do get a top that it'll make a triangle. And that doesn't mean people think you're going, no way we'll get to 8,800 and it goes straight down. That's not how it works, guys. It could look something like this. You know, this could take a long time and, you know, not see that bottom till 2022, possibly 2023. If you look at the Bitcoin cycle, they just keep getting longer and longer. Yeah, I know a lot of people think that we're in 2013, which would be here. Just possible, but if that's the case, we would come all the way back down, you know, to these lower levels before continuing up. So, and that was a pretty decent correction there. What was it? Let's take a look and see what it was. That was a 76% correction in 13. So if we did that again, which, like I said, everybody seems to think we're right here like in 2013, which I don't necessarily believe it, but we'll see. What was that, 76%? So that'd be about a $12,500 Bitcoin, which there was a lot of support and resistance there. It is a possibility. Let's move on to, this is the dollar overlaid on the Bitcoin chart. Every time the dollar bottoms on this trend line, Bitcoin is at or near its top. Every time the dollar tops, Bitcoin is at its or near its bottom. So if that happens again, when the dollar gets back up into this range, would be a good time to start buying a HODL position for Bitcoin. If we've topped and are starting to go down from here, which is possible. Again, nothing's guaranteed in the markets. Let's take a look at another bullish and bearish case scenario. Right now, the funding rate's kind of high, so it's favoring the bears right now. Let's take a look at... Okay, so looking at this, if this was a bull flag up top here, and we've broken out, the bullish case on that gets us to about 75,000 would be the measured move of that. Now, if this is a giant head and shoulders, which is pure speculation, but guys, it could happen. This being the neckline, coming back down to test the neckline at some point, getting a bounce, making a right shoulder. If that was to happen, that also gets us down to about that $88,000 to $9,000 Bitcoin. Is that possible? Yes. If this is an Elliott wave structure that we've talked about, 1, 2, this is 3, and this is 1, 2, 3 of 3. We still got another wave up. That is a possibility. If so, wave 4 should not come down below 13.9. If that ever breaks, it's going to get ugly. Like I said, I look for at least $88,000 to $9,000 range if we break this high over here. Now, if this is actually wave 3 continue higher, then it should never come back down below 20. But again, guys, I'm not convinced that this is going to just continue rising higher. But you see my targets, you see my confirmation levels, and I know people say it could go up or down. Yes, it could go up or down. There are confirmation levels to look for to tell you where the next step might go. If you pay attention, you'll understand that. If you don't pay attention, good luck to you. And always remember, if you haven't taken any profits out yet, you probably should at least take your initial investment out at some point, you know, at little bits or however you want to do it. Because if this thing does come back down, you can watch your portfolio just get demolished. And then I've seen it happen to people in 2017. You know, they had all this money, they were millionaires, and then they're back down into tens of thousands of dollars, you know, within a year. So be careful. Remember, unrealized profits are not profits. They're just numbers in your portfolio until you start realizing them. If you think, well, Bitcoin's going to just continue up to $1 million or whatever, and you want to hold it, you know, have at it. Or if you just, you know, it's best to have money that you're not worried about. And then you don't, you know, have to worry about selling if it, you know, there's a sell-off. You don't get scared. If it's mooning, you don't get too hyper. You're just like, you know, I got a 5 or 10 year plan. That's the way to do it if you're playing in Bitcoin, in my opinion. But other than that, trading is the way to go. Doesn't matter if the market goes up or down. You can always make money in it. So anyways, is what it is. But before we get on to the giveaway, this is my wife's webpage, inkerimage.com. Check it out. A lot of cool gift ideas. There's also a crypto section. You can put anything you want on any of this stuff. There is a link down below, like I said, with other affiliate links down there that help support the channel. All right, let's generate a random number 2. We'll go to number 2 video, but first, oh yeah, there's some if you go right onto my YouTube channel, there is some tutorial videos on some different stuff using EMAs, breakouts, RSI, stuff like that down here. If you want to check them out, they're free. Just quick little videos. I made them a few years back before going on vacation for the people to have something to watch. But that's what it is. If you want to check it out. Now let's do our number 2 video. Would be the amazing Bitcoin dollar index correlation. I'm going to copy the link address. We're going to put it over into our random comment picker. And remember, you'll have 24 hours to claim the prize. After that, you can't claim it anymore. But anyways, we'll pick the random YouTube comments. And let's do it. Who is our winner? Pismoland, you won the Ledger Nano S. Get a hold of me. You know how to get a hold of me. And man, you've been around this channel for a super long time. Appreciate all the support. Thanks a lot, guys. Don't forget to click the Crypto Savvy logo above my head. Smash that like button. Leave your comments down below. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. If I don't see you in a live stream tonight. Take it easy, guys.